show?
No, you have to guess.
Good evening, Cubes of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and I am joined with a plethora of hosts this night. And one missing in action guest. He's having some technical difficulties, so we are just going to bullshit for a minute and have some fun. So joining me, as always, every Thursday, we have Digger Jim.
Hey.
How's it going, Jim?
Good.
We have Lady Fantastic herself, Caroline, down here in the Celebrity Square. And below me, my friend from Rochester here, a great guy. We have Kale from Geekspot Comics. How's it going, Kale?
Good. They finally let me out of my cage, so I thought I'd join for the night.
Nice. I know you got to get back to making videos, bud.
We're going to connect very soon, sir.
Nice. I like to hear that. But so, as we're waiting for our guests, what's new with everybody on the panel? Let's start with you, Jim.
I got this I Am a Swinger shirt for Christmas because that's what I do. And I'm going out tomorrow if the weather's permitting and find some more good stuff in the ground. That's what's new to me.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that you're not a baller.
Yeah. After I got done talking to you, Jim, like I went and I watched a bunch of like beach
detecting videos.
Yeah. It's good. Like it's addicting.
It's very addicting. And when you find some amazing stuff, it's even more addicting. So
yeah. And it's fun because like they're just like, what'd you find? Showing each other. And they're just like, dang, it's just fun. It's just kind of like, I don't know, man. I like it.
How you doing, Scott?
Dude, I'm here.
We'll give you another second to get settled. I'll say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get going with you.
All right, man. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
So, in of course, tonight, Circumstances. Marcus, how you doing tonight, sir? Matthew, Comics by the Bay, good evening. Las Cruces coming in third place. He's off his game tonight, guys.
I don't know.
Take it easy. He's got a lot of W's under his belt.
He does. The most winningest guy on YouTube. Well, how you doing, sir? All right, we have Sith Lorley in the house. Good evening, Sith. All right, Jerry the Jitterbug. Always great to see you, Jerry. Hope everything's well with you, buddy. Brian LCS, who, guys, after this show, go check out his 900 subscriber giveaway. We'll give him a quick plug there. Collecting with Durs, good evening. Geekspot, who's here, and Mikhail, and guest hosting with us this evening. All right, and we have got a rolling chat. Cali Comics, good evening. Nice to see you in. And a whole lot going on. All right. Warlord, how you doing this evening, sir? And I think we are finally caught up, gents. So as we were just discussing earlier, Geek Out with Roscoe, good evening. We'll make you beg. Our guest of honor tonight is Scott Vaughn, who you just saw last week on the 1011. We had an excellent episode together, and so it's been a week, Scott, and I saw the struggle was real with you earlier. I saw, there he is. There he goes. There he is. There he goes. I'm like, that poor guy's got to be raging behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. I was freaking out last minute trying to get in here. I was actually trying to get in early where I could chat, but I could not get the camera to turn on. I don't know what happened, but I'm here.
Nice. So we had a blast on the 1011, but tonight is an interview show. So all of us here will just ask you questions. We'll try to go like an hour, maybe a touch over, maybe a touch under, depending. We'll try to keep this sufficient and efficient. That way we can get to Brian's 900 subscriber giveaway and not interrupt his programming too much tonight because he passed the milestone. So congrats to Brian.
Congrats, Brian.
Evening, Rick. Rick's a fun channel. If you guys have never subscribed to Rick, he does all sorts of random stuff on there, thus Random Rick Reviews. Give him a check out. So without further ado, we're going to start with some simple questions first, Scott. So the one thing that everybody always wants to know, it's a basic question, is what got you into comics?
I got into comics as a young child. Honestly, I think my mom got me into comic books. Yeah, my earliest memories of comic books, I can remember being probably 5, 6 years old, and my mom giving me comic books. I remember specifically one of the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine issues, the one with the devil face on the front.
Oh yeah.
Issue
she
maybe
gave me-
3 or something. I don't know, but it's a the Wolverine Kitty Pryde. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember having that one and the Thing Volume 1, Issue 1. I remember carrying that around. So that's probably my earliest
series.
Yeah. It's John Byrne goodness, man.
Yeah, still love his stuff.
Well, wasn't that Ron Wilson on the Thing?
It was Ron Wilson drawing that thing.
Yeah.
But I thought Byrne wrote that, right?
He might have wrote it. I have it over here. I had Ron Wilson sign it when I went to Heroes Con. He was there, and I was like, dude, you got to sign it.
Yeah, John Byrne.
He might have wrote it.
See, and that's how I know you're young. Like, your first comic was it with Wolverine. He was kind of new in the scene at that time.
John Byrne wrote, Wilson penciled.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So did you connect with Wolverine right away, or were you reading more for the Kitty Pryde, or what hero stuck with you once you got going?
The heroes that stuck with me at a young age, Nightcrawler was always my favorite as a really young kid. I loved Nightcrawler, the Thing, something about Ben Grimm. I always really liked Ben Grimm.
He's the personality of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I mean, he's the personality of Jack Kirby, dude. Ben Grimm is Jack Kirby.
I just always thought he was really funny, and he had the big cigar and the trench coat, and he'd wear the hat and try to be in disguise, but it was so obvious that, it was the Thing.
It's too bad that Wolverine and the Thing's cigars got canceled.
Yeah.
He was always like part of their characters.
I wonder what year they cut that out. Like, I wonder what specific year.
Yeah, that would be actually some good research to do. So,
I'm gonna look into that.
With comics, your mom kept you in it, or did you, or did it take you a while to drop out, or did she just start getting you a good collection going?
Well, I stayed pretty into Marvel, mainly Marvel. I collected a little DC, and my thing was trading with the neighborhood kids. Like all the kids in my neighborhood, we would trade comic books, and we had this game where we would bet comic book cards on trick shots on the basketball court.
Oh, nice.
So we would bet comic cards for like a bounce shot or just something stupid, but it was fun.
Awesome, man.
But I continued collecting. I eventually got out of collecting. Probably middle school is when I got out of it for a while.
Right.
But the thing about comic books, though, or Marvel, actually, I never really. Seems like I always had a hand in something Marvel related, whether I read comics or not, though.
Right, because I even used to read when they put that first run of Spider-Man novels out. I was reading those when those came out and having a blast with those. And they just, and always the newspaper strips, right? Because I used to like the Spider-Man newspaper strip, the Conan the Barbarian one, along with the regular ones too. But Spider-Man was always kind of around everywhere. Just like Superman and Batman, just you had those
ubiquitous.
Yeah, exactly. That you still saw them in media here and there and everywhere too. Now, when you were growing up, what were your TV shows and cartoons you were watching? Did you watch the Incredible Hulk show, the Wonder Woman, or the '66 Batman, or what was it? What were you connected with as a young kid?
As far as like comic book related, my favorite was probably that Batman animated series in the 90s. I remember I would come home from school and I would watch that a lot. I was huge into like Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I was like a Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead.
Good stuff.
Like really into that kind of stuff though.
Sure.
As a kid, I watched all different kinds of cartoons from the old school classics to Tailspin and Chippendale and yeah.
Oh, and just the classic songs that stuck in your head with those cartoons too, right?
Gummy bears bouncing here and there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember that.
forgot all about that.
High adventures from beyond compare. They are the gummy bears.
And the snorkels. I always like them
Yeah.
more than the
Yes.
Smurfs. The undersea snorkels.
Yeah.
I love the snorkels. Yes, and Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock.
Oh, do y'all remember Huckleberry Hound?
Yep.
Yes. Hmm.
Like him.
Yeah.
And Magilla Gorilla.
Oh yeah. Heathcliff. I love Heathcliff.
I like Heathcliff better than Garfield.
Oh, I don't.
Me too.
I love
Me too.
Garfield's attitude. I think I have.
Heathcliff has an
Garfield.
attitude too.
Garfield's very much a man after my own heart. Let's just put it that way.
I used to collect the Heathcliff Star comics. Those were cool.
Oh yeah.
The Star
Right.
comics are tougher to find, man.
Especially in
in
good
good
shape.
condition, since only
Yes.
kids got them and they're torn to like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can find those Care Bear comics or like those Ewok comics and stuff in good condition. So hard.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Muppet Babies, the 86 25th anniversary cover, the border covers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the Muppet Babies in good condition.
I have
Yeah,
the
that one's a-
Muppets Take Manhattan. I have the
That's it.
comic.
That's a hard one to find. That one and the
Ewok.
the Ewok one is really hard. 'Cause
All
I
right,
think I've only ever
few of
seen
them,
each
not
of those
them.
one time.
Yeah.
I got a baby flex in a quarter bin, and one night I found 2 of the Ewok anniversary covers.
Holy
Now,
shit. Man,
They
that's
were in crummy
crazy.
shape, but they were complete, and they were the Ewoks. But kids had
I-
manhandled them.
Yeah.
I would have grabbed it.
I would
know.
too.
I've already sold them both. Hell, give a damn about an Ewok.
Yeah,
we
but-
got Callie saying Felix is the king of cats.
Yeah.
I really like Garfield, man.
Good evening,
So-
madam. Thank you for joining us.
Joining
Madam.
into the next question that I would have would be, since getting back into comics now, do you consider yourself more? Do you like comics more for the story or the art, or a little of both? Like, what
Yeah,
drives you? For that.
Well, I'm
Wrong
definitely
answer, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely both because I am a cover guy. I do, like, for example, I'm subscribed to the current run of She-Hulk. So I get cover A in my box. But if there are good variant covers, I'll get all the variant covers that I like as well. But I'm a
All
reader.
those Jem Bartels are so nice.
Yeah, she kills it. But there's a lot of cool covers for that. So I'll pick up variants, but I'm a reader. I love having a nice fat read stack. And
Right.
there's nothing really more that I look forward to than taking 2 or 3 with me to work and reading on my lunch break. And so I'm definitely a reader too.
It's awesome,
Cool.
man.
I just, for me, if it's a decent story, that's fine, but the art's not there. It's hard for me to read it,
Oh, like the inner artwork.
Yeah, the inner. I mean, like I think we're definitely in the same respect, man. If I see a cover and I'm like, oh wow, I don't even subscribe to this book, but that cover's sick. Last year I was doing that a lot. I would just, and I'd be like, why did I get this? I don't even read this story, but this cover just spoke to me. The artist was incredible. But if I open it up and I see like a book that I want to read or I think I might like, and the interiors are terrible, I just can't. It's hard for me to want to get it.
I have a couple Dazzler covers from last year for books I don't read, but hey, Dazzler.
Yeah,
I can see
right.
that.
But I'm just curious.
Hey.
It's like you're a big Greg Horn guy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so there you go.
Right, some of the best covers in the business. Now,
Correct.
everyone, go ahead, show what you got. What you're going to show?
I brought some show and tell for you, Gary.
Ooh, I have never seen that card.
That would
Is it the
It's
92 Marvel Heroes?
yeah, it's
99.
series 1.
Yeah,
As
91.
far as I know, it's her first comic card, so I guess it would technically be her rookie. But
I might be doing
It's
some
great, though.
eBay.
Series 1, Marvel Universe.
Yeah,
But yeah,
might
I
be doing
thought
some
you might
eBay.
dude, you can get it cheap, like $20 graded.
Oh yeah, That's a great thing about those. Like I've had a few people AOK me some Black Cat ones, which are great. It just saves you buying them. I bought a few Spider Woman ones off of eBay. But
Dude, I love your Spider Woman collection. I saw that Diamond Select PVC that you had earlier. That's awesome.
yeah, and that's only a $50 piece.
Yeah,
So
I'm about
it's
to
not
buy it.
expensive. They have a Firestar like that too that I want to get. They came out with a
Ooh.
Firestar last year. Good old
Wow.
I think I'm
Intelligent
at
Jones.
I'm at a baseline. Like there has to be a baseline level of interior art where if it's worse, like if it looks super cartoonish, I'm not able to do it. I like somebody who can really draw. Give me Barry Windsor Smith or give me Death. You know what I mean? Just people that are just
Yeah, I can relate to that. If the inner artwork is too dark, I'm not as into it. Like there was a Batman title last year, and I loved the artwork was beautiful, but it was so dark.
Yeah.
So when you say dark, do you mean dark in color or dark in content?
In color.
Yeah. That's the problem with the auto covers. Like some of them are beautiful, but the ones that are so dark, I just don't care for because you don't see the hero enough.
You have to squint to make it out.
So I'm not gonna lie, like the mid 90s is really, it turned me off in the biggest way. And it was mostly because of the art. Yes, obviously the stories were shit too, but like I really was just like bothered on a visceral level when they went to the cartoonish shit. Like it just, it crushed my little heart.
Now, I wanted to ask you too, like your room is stacked now. Like you have a collection. What brought you back into comics when you made the journey back? Because everybody's got to get back into comics story.
I never really stopped going to comic shops. Even when I didn't collect, I would always pop in and look around. I guess the bug never really entirely left me because I would never buy anything, but I would always go in and look. And Alex Ogle, who is a local artist, I think is from Chickamauga, which is pretty close to Chattanooga. He was doing a signing for some interior art that he had done on Vampirella. And I went in a shop to meet him just out of boredom. Just thought it'd be cool to go in and talk to an artist and talk to him and bought a couple of books. And that kind of got me started. And then I went back a little bit later and saw that King in Black was going on, and that looked interesting. And so I grabbed King in Black, and that pulled me the rest of the way back in.
So your comeback story is a Venom one.
Venom.
I'm so sad. I'm just picking on
No, it's a Null story. It's not
It's a
Venom.
Null story, yeah.
It's still symbiote adjacent. No.
Don't be a hater,
that's cool.
Gary.
Oh, I got to pick on Venom.
Be an appreciator, a congratulator.
Right?
Yeah.
No, whatever brings people back into comics, and that's the strongest thing and best thing about right now in comics is there's such a vast amount of things out there, especially with the indies. There's something for every single taste out there, for
Absolutely.
every flavor. There's something. If you don't like comics, you're not looking at enough comics. There's a story out there for you.
Yeah, you just don't want to like them if you're
right,
because there really is.
Right.
There's
I'm
a
gonna start
story
with Devil.
for
It was a finished bagging my shit.
I know I was bagging and boarding earlier. So I want to talk to you too about, because you and I have a lot of interests that are similar.
Yeah,
especially with the ladies of Marvel and especially with horror. So what draws you to the ladies in the comics, and also how does horror play into what you collect? And what was your first foray into horror? When did you discover that you were a horror guy?
Let's see. We'll do the hard question.
Sorry,
as far back, I can literally remember being like a really little kid, and something about Freddy Krueger and Chucky, they scared the shit out of me, but I was attracted to it. And I would sneak and watch those kind of movies, because I was a kid in the 80s, so those movies were big. And I don't know, sucked me in from childhood. I was always a fan of horror, and really always a collector of horror. I can remember being a kid and begging my mom to buy me the Freddy Krueger folder to take to school, and she didn't want to buy it for me because it wasn't appropriate. And
Right.
and I remember I had the My Buddy doll, and I tried to transform it into a Chucky doll, and
Nice.
and yeah, but as far as
didn't work.
I was always getting in trouble. I was a horrible kid. My parents had 6 kids, or 5 kids, and I was the worst by far out of all of them.
Oh,
What order
that's
are you
all right.
What in the order scheme are you?
I'm the oldest.
No
I have
shit.
I have a brother who I grew up with, and he's 4 years younger. And then my parents, when I was in 8th grade, had my youngest brother, and a couple years later had twin girls.
Dolls are freaky, Madam Blaster. I agree, Stephanie. There was a great horror movie back then too. I don't know if you ever saw it, called Dolls. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
The Puppet Master movies. Come on.
Oh yeah.
So many bad doll horror movies.
Yeah, they're really
The
good.
Puppet Masters were great though.
Well, they were
great.
horribly great, right?
Horribly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. They're horribly great.
Dolly Dearest.
Yeah. Oh, so many good ones. So
But yeah, as far as like the first thing that you asked though, like what, I really like the pinup. I'm into pinup art, and things like I don't know, Silver Sable and characters like that tend to be done in a pinup style. I tend to be into. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but like the way John Byrne draws She-Hulk, and that led me to liking her. And I don't know who drew Silver Sable, but just the way that they drew her attracted me to that character. And I don't know though. I like some oddball female characters though.
Right.
oh yeah, there's some great ones. Well, Kale's like that too. Kale and I got a lot in common when it comes to that kind of stuff. But
Absolutely.
but he's a big image guy, so like usually if I got a few more Evangelines for you too, Kale. But he gave me probably like a Xena cover. Like I still look at that cover, Kale. I still bring that out. That sent me down a rabbit hole. So now I got Xena's first appearance. I got the photo cover and the regular cover, and
Perfect.
I started getting all those comics whenever I see them, nice and cheap. But
Xena Warrior
was a
Princess?
guilty pleasure
Yeah.
when I was in the mid '90s little hornball teenager. It was hard to not enjoy watching Xena.
Is it like
Right.
the Topps brand with Lucy Lawless on the cover?
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are fun.
Sorry.
It was funny too because like the show was just okay to me, but I like the comics better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, like I would never like go out of my way to watch the show. Which is
Whatever.
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh, Boyd's here too. Boyd Beckerman. Good evening, guys. But
Nice.
what's Madam Xena CDs for my birthday? Ooh. But yeah, just so that classic stuff. But you didn't connect to any of the stories that they were being written. Like the introduction to me of the Black Cat's great in that issue, right? Silver Sable has a good entrance in the comics, and then you have. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I got into Silver Sable as a kid, and I definitely remember being on that series. I don't really know what pulled me to Silver Sable, but
I bet
Character
I think there's
design.
a couple of reasons.
Carolyn, don't go
Probably.
down that rabbit hole.
yeah, I was a pervy kid. I was a perv, so maybe.
Just the boy.
Hey,
Well, her character
Yeah, I
design
mean,
is really cool too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I remember
Absolutely.
back then when it was like Silver Sable and Paladin a lot in the Spider-Man comics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They had like those mercenary types in that whole like era of Spider-Man comics. They were trying to get like the
Introduced
next
Solo.
Punisher, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
and she had like Sandman was like crushing on her or something at one point or something.
Well,
like
he ended
that.
up being one of the Wild Pack.
Yeah, one of the Wild Packs. So, yeah. I have some.
These
I'm gonna
guys
have
are
to go
all
back and reread that.
Silver Sable fans.
No, let's talk about storylines for a minute. So everyone that reads comics has a favorite author, a favorite artist, and we have to shout out Gen 13, which got a lot of boys in the comics with
Oh yeah.
Scott Campbell art. But
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. So what storylines are your favorite, and who's your favorite artist that's worked in comics?
That's hard.
Fair.
Favorite currently or favorite all time?
Do both. Because it's always different. We always have a favorite. Like right now, my favorite writer going at the moment is because he's been doing such a great job on Black Cat, and he's also killing it on Moon Knight for everybody. Jed McKay.
Jed McKay.
But my ultimate favorite is always going to be Roy Thomas, because I
Yeah.
grew up reading his books, and he introduced me to this whole world of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Favorite current. I really like Al Ewing. He's a great writer. I typically like anything he writes. Ron V is good.
But you don't have a favorite classic storyline you always go back and reread, like a Secret Wars or a
Brand
Yeah.
new day.
Yeah, there's so many, and I'm blanking out right now because you asked me. But yeah, definitely Secret Wars. I reread that recently. Contest of Champions was cool.
I read that again. I read that last year. That was fun. A little all over the place, but fun.
For me, it's
Yeah.
the Light and Dark Phoenix saga.
Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
Let's
Claremont.
You know
Claremont.
what's weird is Jean Grey's cool, but I always like Lorna better.
Lorna Dern. Yeah. Yeah.
See. And I actually like the old New Mutants run, like the original New Mutants run.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Bob
always
McLeod.
liked Moira better. So, I'm just kidding. Moira's cool, man.
Now, what's your
Inferno's
oddball
great.
character that you would like to see brought into movies that we haven't seen yet? Someone that's kind of under the radar, but you'd like to see get the A+ spotlight. Oh, Beta Ray Bill, huh?
He said, let me show him to you.
Now, did you read his
Didn't they
miniseries
tease it?
last year?
Yes. Yeah, and it was awesome. It was really good. And
I
the
just,
art was
got in the
good.
mail for $5. I just got this. It's in shitty
Hmm.
shape, but it's first Beta Ray.
Nice.
Yeah, I got that. It's up there. I got it a couple months ago. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Heck yeah, man. Thor's my boy. I love the Simonson Thors.
But that miniseries last year was awesome too. It was really good.
The Beta
And I
Ray.
even
Yeah,
like the
that was
artwork.
Daniel Warren
Warren.
Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he killed it.
And
And
you felt really bad for him and Sif.
She did him wrong. She did him
did.
so dirty.
But it's Lady Sif, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's forgivable.
No, but yeah, that was a really sad moment. Like the fun thing about that series is they made you identify with him quite a bit. In that
You
just
really
those issues
did
they have.
feel for him. That and him Thor showing up and saving the day after he did all the fighting, and just he gets shit on all through that.
He does. Well, he'll get his spotlight to shine. It's only a matter of time before you actually see him in the movies.
Yeah,
I
I want to
hope
see him in the
so.
movies.
Me too.
I want him to be like the ultimate frat brother in arms to Thor, where they just drink mead and crack heads across the
Yeah.
universe, the cosmos. It's just gonna be awesome. Freaking love it.
Like some kind of cool variation of Thor core or something.
Yeah,
Now,
just
you
let him
more of a
bro the hell
street
out.
level hero or god level hero person?
God level. Oh, sorry.
Do what now?
Are you more of a street level hero guy or a god level hero guy?
Probably God level hero guy.
Yeah, you like the Cosmic, the Silver Surfer, and Hercules and Thor and all them.
Yeah, I was really into the whole Thanos and death, that whole deal.
Yeah, and all that Jim Starlin stuff from back then was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, that would probably be one of my favorite storylines, like that I read that was new growing up. Now that I think about it, like the Infinity War, I really enjoyed the Infinity War story. Was it 6 issues? Was it 6 issues?
Yeah,
And the
I
covers
really
are
enjoyed that. That
fantastic.
one just popped in my head.
there's Infinity Gauntlet, and then there's Infinity War.
Yeah,
Right.
both.
Infinity Crusade.
But I
You're
like
right.
Infinity War because that's the one that had the doppelgangers, right? Infinity
Yeah,
War.
I think so.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying, too, that comics, and you touched on it a little on the 1011, but comics help save you. Did you want to talk about that a little bit more tonight?
Yeah, man, I'll talk about anything you want me to.
It seemed like an interesting story. We were mostly talking about books, but it seemed like you had some stuff you wanted to share and get out there. And
Yeah. Okay. Well, really, what got me actually deciding that I needed to get into something and find a cool, healthy hobby. I needed something to get my mind away from. Like, I was new into sobriety. I'm trying to create this new life. I basically left my whole old life behind. Anybody I ever knew, anything I ever liked, anything I ever did, and started from scratch. And a part of that is keeping my mind occupied and finding things to do and having to learn how to live like a normal human being all over again. And comic books really have been a big contributing factor to my sobriety. And the reason I say that is because it really gives me something to look forward to when I have downtime. The reading, it fills the void that I felt like I was lacking in life. It really has filled a void in my life, and I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't get into comic books. I might have fell back into it. I don't know, but I know that it's played a big part. And actually, tomorrow will be 3 years since I've used any illegal drugs. So,
congrats!
Yeah, so
That's a good
I kind of,
milestone.
it's taken a lot of hard work, but really though, comic books, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that to take my mind off of things and stuff. But it's been
And I don't think you're alone in that. I think comics are a good focus point for a lot of people that want to not focus on something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
even
when I
something simple
first-
like gambling. Well, it's not simple, but anything you have that you don't want to focus on, comics are a good diversion for that, and it's something that's fulfilling. You're getting more out of it than something else.
Right.
It's an escape, right?
It's a good form of escapism.
Yeah.
But it also gives you possible. I mean, we could barely touch on this, and I don't want to touch too much on it. But it gives, for me, as a kid, it also gave you a sense of good guy, bad guy, ideals of a path of maybe how you should live in certain aspects, even though not all of it. But you also get to see the vulnerability. Even, Tony Stark struggled with alcoholism. There's a whole story on that. That's one of my favorites to read. That was the first time as a kid, I saw it. I dealt with it. I was surrounded by adults that were alcoholics, but I'd never seen it in the comics. And when it came to the comics, I was like, wow, now I get it. Now I see it. And, and he had Captain America to help get him through to where he needed to be with his sobriety to get it started anyway, which, so there's so many things in there that can help you down that path.
And you had that Spider-Man series with Harry. I think it was Harry, or was it Harry or Norman? But one of them got hooked on pills.
Yeah.
It was Harry.
It was Harry. And that's when the Comics Code Authority removed the stamp. But then they realized later, hey, this is actually good for the kids to read. And so they reprinted it
Right.
with the approval, because it was very time appropriate. And it was a good thing that they were talking about it.
Right.
And and DC had theirs too. What was
Neil Adams, the heroine.
Speedy.
Speedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Speedy.
Yeah,
That's it.
Speedy. Speedy got hooked on drugs. Yeah.
But that was the cool thing
I forgot
about the
about that one.
comics medium too, is it wasn't afraid to tackle real issues.
Yeah.
Even what is it? Identity Crisis with how they handled what to do with somebody that took advantage of their powers in that way
Right.
from DC. That was a massive moment in books.
And like X-Men like teaches you about how it is to be the other. How does it, to
Right.
be discriminated against over something you literally have zero control over. And
Right.
like how society otherizes, people on the fringes, and how like fucked up it is, comics point out a lot of good things, helps you identify like your own moral compass, I think. Helps sculpt you. For me as a kid, it really helped sculpt me into the things that I said, I think these are good things and I think these things are wrong,
So that's why Jim likes the villains so much.
He's a bad guy.
I'm on to you, Jim, and your Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I love
I
Doom.
can. I was going to ask, but you being the oldest, did any of that your other siblings pick up any comics, or did they just pass? I'm fortunate. My brother and I shared a love for it together. So.
Yeah, my younger brother, he would collect with me a little bit. We both had a couple of short boxes, and he collected a little bit, but he was the jock. He was the star athlete of the family, so he grew out of it and got into sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was the oldest, but I was also the jock in our family, and that wore off, and I came back years later when I realized those friends weren't hanging around once I stopped playing that sport. And I refound my home, so to speak. Right, it was like a homecoming, coming back to all those old stories and books and vibe you get just from all of it. The collecting process, the paper, the going in your LCS and chatting with everybody there, like time had not even passed. So
right.
It's a great community to be a part of.
And now you see, Scott, like Mikhail and I, we have the same LCS, but it's a cool one, right? You go in there, and it's almost like Cheers. Everybody knows everybody there. You walk in, it's like, oh hey. You can go in there before you even look at a book. You've had a 45-minute conversation with somebody, and it's. And I remember, that this comic store that we go to really got me back into collecting, because I would go into other ones and they would treat you like a kid that was in there to destroy books. Like you need help with it? No, I'm an adult. I want to look at it and see if I want to buy it. You can leave me alone. If I need help, I'll ask. And there wasn't any kind of camaraderie in it. But one of the cool things when we got on YouTube, right, is because you had friends that you were trading books with. I didn't have any friends that were collecting comics, so there was no one for me to trade books with. Even as an adult that read, I didn't have other friends that read. So there was no one to share the love of comics and storytelling and art with. And YouTube kind of provided that. Now, have you had people in your life that have always collected around you, or did YouTube kind of fill that hole for you as well?
I've tried meeting other collectors in Chattanooga. I still haven't really found anybody around here that like hardcore hunts for comic books like I do. But I've made so many friends through YouTube, and completely feel like that's a lot of the reason I was out running around and doing the things that I was doing, was because I was lacking the camaraderie and just a lot of things that this community brings, and I don't feel like I'm lacking anymore.
Now, when did you come to YouTube? Well, like, we all have our own origin stories on YouTube. Like, I got started because I wanted to learn about it, because YouTube is our kid's cable. And my kid, I can see being on YouTube one day. So I wanted to learn about it. And then it became my own thing just from wanting to
Yeah.
learn from him. So what brought you to YouTube? What made you go, you know what? It's time for me to start a channel.
Okay. I was like a year and a half out of rehab. I had a pretty good bit of clean time under my belt. Right now, like I will smoke occasionally. I don't drink or anything like that, but I will smoke occasionally. At that time, I did absolutely nothing. Like I was scared to drink an energy drink. But once I got like a lot of clean time under my belt, and I got to the point where I felt like maybe I could sponsor somebody and share the same things that had been shared with me so freely with someone else. I wanted to do something, and along the lines of sponsoring or service work. And so I started a Facebook group, and it was like a recovery thing, and it blew up. And like I got counselors from the rehab I was in on there, like all kinds of people joined, and it ended up blowing up, and it was a really good thing. But it was on Facebook though, and I feel like Facebook's like a dinosaur at this point. And
I can agree
so
with
I'm
that.
like, well, so I'm like, I want to do the same thing and kind of just abandon the Facebook thing, but I want to do the same thing like on YouTube. So I turned the Facebook thing over to a friend of mine who's a counselor at a rehab, and I started the Facebook or the YouTube, and it was going to be just complete recovery. But then I got hardcore into comic books, and it turned into comic books. But then I always promised myself that at some point I would I'm trying to figure out a way for like the last year to work in recovery stuff. But it's like, like you can only talk about Demon in the Bottle so many times. I need to be able to do it consistently. But I feel like I'm just now, like after a year making videos on YouTube, I feel like I'm just now kind of getting where I want to be as far as doing some recovery stuff. So I'm doing that weekly thing on Mondays. It's going to be 7:30 every Monday, and I'm trying to make it kind of like a hybrid of a comic book hangout, but also offering some support to people that might need it.
Right, because
maybe
it's a valid space for people to hang out and be with somebody else. That's something we all learned together. We didn't realize that until we did it, right? You don't realize that this is a valid space to share with other people.
It's a great place to connect.
And the thing about it is, there are certain things that you're only going to get out of somebody who's been through it. Like, so I really feel like I've got some good information to share for somebody that needs to hear it.
Right.
And I've been able to help I have had people reach back and say, dude, you helped me so much with this video or that video or doing this. And that's the whole reason that I wanted to do it to begin with. So
I have a quick question. Are you in Nashville?
I'm in Chattanooga. I'm like 2 hours south of Nashville.
I know where you're at. Yeah. I used to live in Bradford County. I had a job in Bradford County just north of Chattanooga. It was
cool.
In Athens, yeah. No, I saw the Vanderbilt hat, and I actually worked there. So
I actually worked on their baseball fields one time. I used to do athletic field construction for a couple of years, and the baseball coach gave me that hat.
Oh hell, that's nice. Cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan.
See a lot of free games, right?
Yeah,
I have gotten to see a lot of cool free games.
Like whenever you work with anything that's related to sports, there's always those cool perks like that, right? Where you get to watch the games, and it's just awesome.
Yeah,
now, it's really cool. A big part of what you do too.
Not really. My family, that's a family thing. My brother owns an athletic field construction company that's pretty big in the Southeast. And so they're very heavily involved in sports. They actually, here in Chattanooga, we have a minor league team, the Chattanooga Lookouts. They're AAA ball or AA ball. And my family supplies the product for their fields. And,
wow.
Yeah, it comes directly from my dad and my brothers. So, and they do that for a lot of colleges and a lot of high schools and a lot of minor league teams in the Southeast.
In Nashville, we've got a AAA team the Sounds, the Nashville Sounds.
I have one of their hats. Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. It's fun to go to their games.
They're awesome. The environment's really cool. And I'm not a super big sports fan because I grew up in a baseball family, so I kind of got burnt out on baseball growing up. But something about being in a ballpark.
That's what hockey's for.
No, boo on hockey.
Yeah, no.
Scott, you need to check out the Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas.
You'll thank me later, I promise. Check them out. It's a minor league team, and they are.
I'm guessing single A.
Yeah,
single A. Yeah, sounds like a single A ball team.
They're revolutionizing what baseball could be, and it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
Savannah Banana.
Savannah, I'm telling
I'll
you,
check them out. I'll check them out.
I just wrote it down too because now I'm curious.
You guys are all going to message me later and be like, dude, what did you do?
It's going to be like a porn or something. I don't know.
It's not.
Yeah, like the blue waffle thing or something.
That's
now,
unreal.
getting back to your room, your man cave there, Scott. So comics always lead into collecting other things, right? How much do you collect statues like your Beta Ray Bill and figures and cards, anything related to comics? Is that a big part of what you do as well, or you just like treat yourself here and there with something that really catches your eye?
Oh yeah, that's one thing that I learned about myself. I have a super addictive personality, and that applies to both good and bad. So anything I do, I end up being consumed with. So I've recently fallen down the rabbit hole of Diamond Select, but I also do Funko Pops if they're Marvel related. So I got a pretty decent Funko Pop collection, and I have a shit ton of Marvel Legos. Like you wouldn't believe it.
So Mikhail here is a big action figure guy. If you had a conversation with him, you would be going down a whole nother rabbit hole of toys.
I'm really trying not to get stuck down the Marvel Legends.
What's that?
Yeah.
I said I'm really trying not to get sucked down the Marvel Legends hole, but I've been buying them lately.
It's funny because
they're nice looking.
They are.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Scott, you were commenting about that Spider-Woman one earlier, and I
that was awesome.
Really toys, but did you see this one?
That's a great one.
That's the one with the Hydra people in it, right? The Hydra
base.
soldiers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I almost bought that one day, but they wanted way too much for it. But I'm on the hunt for that.
It's a $30 toy. If you should pay $30 for it, that's what it's worth.
Yeah, dude, they wanted 60.
Yeah, then they were charging double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was too high.
Rhinos has another one for $30.
Well, this was at Second and Charles. They're really hit and miss with their prices.
Yeah.
We don't have those around here. I've never been in one, and I hear all of you other guys talk about them. Or that, and what was the other? There's other like secondhand bookshop or something, or
Ollie's
McKay's?
McKay's.
Sure.
We got a McKay's in Nashville too.
Dude,
and
McKay's is so awesome.
It's the bomb. And we also just got a half price books, which is
that's it, half price books. And we don't have any of that in Rochester. We have Ollie's, but it's the same books every time you go in. It's
we don't have Ollie's.
Going there.
Yeah,
Ollie's me up on that.
Ollie's is not as good as Second and Charles is, in my opinion.
Before I moved to Rochester, I lived in Nashville, and I shopped at McKay's on the regular. I lived in Ashland City, Lady Fantastic. I don't know if you know where that is exactly, but good old Cheatham County.
Yeah.
And when I moved up here, it took me forever to find a good comic spot because, as Gary said, a lot of people were gatekeeping their shops, and you'd walk in and they'd follow you around the store, or the store would just be in complete disarray. You couldn't find anything. And I walked into our LCS one time, and then I had a 2-year gap before I walked back in, and the guy still remembered my name, shook my hand, was like, "Hey, you like this, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Jesus, man, what are you doing? How did you remember that?" And I've gone back every week since then.
That's cool.
And this week when I went in, he kind of got on to me. He's like, "Dude, have you talked to Gary lately?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "He was just asking about you. You need to get a hold of Gary." And I was like, "All right, I'll
Was
get a
that
hold of
chat?
Gary." Yeah.
Yeah. See, because Kale demands attention when he goes in there. He's in tight shorts and really flashy shirts, and he's a whole look at me guy.
It's the moisture wicking.
Yeah.
He's not. And, but I mean, I had Kale on one of my videos. We actually put together.
Oh my gosh, I broke his Conan.
Yeah, we put together this 1/12 scale Conan.
Sweet.
One
Nice.
of the little pieces on the shield broke, which wasn't important, but Kale felt really guilty about it.
So I went and bought the only other one in Rochester that day and replaced his shield with the one out of my box.
But I didn't want him to, but he felt that guilty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
crazy.
actually, yep. So I just connected Durs with Rhinos, and we got Durs almost a complete run of The Walking Dead Deluxe, just minus 2 issues.
Oh, is that why
That's
I couldn't
really
find
cool.
one of the issues I was missing? Thanks, Durs.
Yeah, so Geekspot, that McKay's that you're talking about in Nashville is where I found those 2 Ewoks for 25 cents each. The anniversary
believe it.
cover Ewoks.
I picked up so many great books from that location.
Yeah, same.
And it started, me going to McKay started with me rebuying Rock Band for like the 3rd time for other addictive personality reasons. But
Okay, your secrets are safe with us.
well, it went with the shorts.
Yeah.
So
All right.
So I'm sorry. It was my roundabout way of getting to. Do you have an LCS, and is it a cool hangout place like ours is? Like, do you go there? You're comfortable. You're there for a couple hours. You go in and you have a lot of people that you talk to, or is it you just go in? I'm here about the books, and you're out.
I'm actually kind of in between LCSs right now. I had one that I went to forever, and I kind of got to the point where I felt like it just wasn't a good fit. And so I tried another one on the other side of town, and it's okay. I'm not sure it's such a good fit either, though, honestly. So I'm kind of in between and
moved to Rochester.
looking, honestly. There's another LCS across town that I thought about trying that I haven't been to in a long time. This little old man runs it, and it's called B&M Amusement. And I was thinking about starting to go back there again, but right now I go to this place called Epicos on Lee Highway. They're pretty cool.
And
I love that one.
a comic shop that has a good back issue. Like if I go into a comic store and all they have are new releases,
Yeah.
that just kills it for me instantly.
Yeah.
Well, when I go out hunting for back issues and stuff, I mainly will go to flea market. I have a flea market that I hit, and it's right on the Tennessee-Georgia line. And there are a couple booths there that I could usually score some good stuff at. So I like going there. And there are some antique malls around here that I go to. And like, I typically, honestly, don't hit comic shops when I'm looking for older stuff. Because the shops here in chat want $10 for a $10 book. And I'm trying to get that $10 book for $2 or $3.
Right.
And so, yeah.
The Great Escape in Nashville, though, they have an excellent repertoire of back issues, which is what I really like. And it seems like they don't get as many cool new issues, but like basically anybody that they get a lot of old collections in.
Yeah.
And so people, I don't know, I just really love that they have old collections that come in on the regs.
Well, you were saying you lived up by Athens, right?
I lived right up by what's just north of Cleveland. I lived in Cleveland, Chattanooga, or like Cleveland,
Etowah,
Tennessee.
Athens, Etowah.
Etowah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. When I go, I'm going to be headed in that direction looking for shops soon. Do you know of any shops out that way?
There's actually a lot of antique stores and like in the little strips, but I've never found a specific comic shop there. But they've had antique stores and places that have had it. Now they came up with a couple of new like game places, and one of those game places is also a books place, and they may start getting them in, but it just opened like when I was there, but that was like 5 years ago, dude.
And Durs is saying Nirvana Comics in Knoxville.
Well, Knoxville is still a ways away from Chattanooga.
Yeah.
And like an hour, 15 minutes. I can be there pretty quick.
Yeah, Knoxville's at the top at the top and Chattanooga's at the bottom of the same
I was
side.
just in Knoxville. Went to the Tennessee Mizzou game.
Nice.
2 months ago. So
It's close
We
to
were actually
Asheville.
good this year.
yeah, what happened with that?
I don't know. I didn't watch, but
It's that quarterback.
dude, I quit watching Tennessee years ago, man. You can't. It's
Not
the most
since,
frustrating
like,
thing in the world to be a Vols fan.
Not since T. Martin and like Peyton Manning. Not since '98 were they good. So to watch them,
Exactly.
Can't leave out Jason Witten.
so that's been 24 years, dude. They haven't been shit since 24 years. And
It's
then we
just a
saw 'em-
constant kick in the nuts every year.
Oh yeah. Luckily,
That was
I
my first
graduated
Vols
from
game. It was
LSU,
a blast.
So I have a little thing to look up to.
See, it was like that being a Devils fan for years.
Oh, Jersey hockey.
Jersey, yeah, the hockey.
Are you switching sports on us again, Gary?
He always flips
I'm
back
always
to
going to bring
that.
it back to hockey, Kale. Always.
We got National
Hockey or
Predators.
tennis. Those are my two sports.
Yeah, I really like that one store you went into. You did a video because it looked like it had, and I can't remember what it was called now, but I commented on it because you were just filming all the way through it, and it had a eclectic amount of everything. It wasn't just a comic based, and you would like grab different toys that were in the package, and I was like, "Oh, you should get that one." The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, "Oh, you should get that one," and I can't.
That was
remember
That's the I-75 flea market. That sits exactly on the state line between Tennessee and Georgia, more or less.
That was a cool. I can't remember. It had a cool name too, and I'm trying to remember. It had a nice little hook to it, but I can't remember what it was. And I was like, "Man, I like that store. Why don't we have those here? We don't have things like that here."
Yeah, I was going there a lot. That's one of my favorite places to go. But I really feel like people probably get tired of watching me record there, so I stopped going there for a little while.
For some reason in Nashville, there's quite a few places that I can find comics at, so I'm thankful.
We got
I haven't been up there looking yet.
choices right there, right?
Go. What's that now, Geekspot?
You have 3 of those collector's choices right in that area. Well, I guess if you extend all the way out to Kentucky, right there across the border.
I don't know what a
a
collector's
really good
choice is. I haven't been there.
What was the
Rick's Great
not Comic
Escape.
City?
Rick's Comic City.
The buy sell trade used store.
That's
Oh,
McKay's.
yeah.
Not
Okay.
McKay's. The other one.
Great
Second
Escape.
control.
Great Escape. That's it.
Yeah, Great
We'll get
Escape.
there.
So the Great Escape that I go to is like the OG one that used to be on Division Street. They actually moved it to Charlotte, and now it's even bigger. But they have the biggest back issue repertoire, and that's why I love going there. And they get the most old collections in, and so that's why I always did going there. Like yesterday was Wednesday, right? Shit, I got a Jungle Action 1 there. It was on the wall. I got it for $25. But like I completed my entire
That's a
Jungle
good deal.
Action run by getting that one. So like you can find all kinds of stuff. It's so fun. I'm such a child.
I've never been to that.
Found yourself any good grails for cheap, Scott?
Yeah, I found some crazy stuff at McKay's.
Also, are you a run guy or are you a key guy?
I'm an absolute run guy. I'm not a key guy. I started off a key guy, heavy FOMO heavy, that whole deal. And then I learned not to maybe listen to Comic Tom and those guys as much and just buy what I'm into. Yes, buy what you're into.
Though, you know, it's a rite of passage in the comic industry.
Yeah, but once I figured that out, yes, I'm totally a run guy. I love just collecting a run from beginning to end. I have a blast doing it. That's probably my favorite thing to do.
So what was the last run you completed?
My last run completed, I've completed a bunch of little mini series. I'm very close to completing Dazzler. I'm only a couple of issues left of that one. I'm very close to some.
Or 42 issues.
There's 42.
42
I
issues,
think.
a 4-issue miniseries. And
Beauty and the Beast.
And
Beauty and the Beast. Sinky did some covers on.
And then the Marvel movie graphic novel.
Yeah.
Yes, the magazine format. I'm most of the way through Sensational She-Hulk run. I
That's
have
a 25 issue run.
No, that's 50.
That's
Sensational
50.
She-Hulk.
Sensational. That
And
one is Burn.
Savage.
then-
Yes.
Savage is 25 issues.
Savage is
Yeah.
25 because that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
I have all of X Factor Volume 1.
Dang,
I've got
what did
a
it go
ton of
to?
Do I?
X Factor Volume 1 went for a long time.
It went like up into the hundreds. I can't remember where it ended, but it was like
118 or some shit.
it was somewhere up in there. Yeah.
I got a lot of X Factor.
Yeah.
To me, it quit being as fun after like issue 73, I think, when the new team came in. But
It
that's
was like
just
81. And
81?
yeah, it was like the last thing that I cared about was the Shadow King storyline. And I think it was like in the 60s or 70s. And then I stopped caring about it really.
Well,
yeah.
there's no greater feeling either than completing a run. Like when you get that final issue to complete it.
Mhm.
Because
And like
that's-
you were
I'm a run
saying,
completer as well.
yes.
And what's nice too is like at our LCS, he'll
Mhm.
buy in collections, and sometimes you can get a whole run in one shot.
That's pretty cool.
Like that's
Yeah.
how I got that Maddie Franklin Spider Woman run. I just bought it in a lot.
Nice. I'm currently collecting that one, but that one is hard for me to find. I don't find a whole lot of Maddie Franklin stuff.
I think during that time there wasn't a big print run for that stuff.
And you'll be upset with me, but I regret doing it. But a couple months ago, I sold almost the entire run of Spider Woman Volume 1. I
It's been a
regret
fun
it.
show, guys. Thank you all for coming out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
I
you know
love
what?
that run.
And that's a good question to ask. Is, I mean, do you feel like I mean, for me personally, I never want to give up my stuff, but I also feel like, wow, there is something to say about, selling some of your stuff to help the hobby grow, to keep it
Well,
moving.
I did it to acquire other books that I wanted, but
Right.
I wish I wouldn't have done it now.
It's funny because I have that whole run in floppies, right? Plus, I have the Marvel Essentials, the 2 volumes of that.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, because I had to have. I love that run, and it's not like it's the best run in comic history. It changed writers a lot. It was up and down, but you had some great artists on it, and the issues regardless were fun. And
Mhm.
that Jessica Drew went through the ringer. It had some like unique villains like the Needle.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
The
like,
Needle.
what's your favorite villain?
My
In
favorite.
general,
My favorite villain, just period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord
Like, who do you
Doom.
like to see your person fight the most?
Oh,
So
that's
I
a
think
good one because I really like villains a lot.
Apocalypse is one of my favorite villains.
Apocalypse is awesome. Dr. Doom's definitely up there. Carnage, I love Carnage. I'm a real big symbiote guy. I love symbiotes.
Victor Von Doom is good though. He's pretty.
Yes.
He's pretty wicked.
Now, what
And
do
I
you
was
think about the rumor though of Henry Cavill being Doom?
You know who I
don't know.
thought that would be good Doom is the John Hamm from Mad Men.
Yeah, he's got a lot of range. He's good. He's a good actor.
He's a Von Doom kind of guy. He's hot.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Henry Cavill as Doom. I don't know.
Well, I think he's got the imposing presence to be Doom for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, if you go back and look at that fight scene, like, he wasn't a good guy, and like, I think it was one of the Mission Impossibles, right? Where
Right.
he was like pretty mean looking and pretty bad through most of that show, I think.
Well, I think he can bring the presence that Doom needs because I didn't think Doom has had a presence in any of the FF movies so far. He's just been the guy that's annoying. He hasn't been like this
Yeah.
next level
Mm-mm.
villain.
But they also didn't write it well. It was trash. I
Right,
mean, I
sure.
would love to see him have his own little, spin off of some type.
Gore and the Jason Aaron run was really a great villain. And for the little Gore they did show on Love and Thunder, I really enjoyed and appreciated Christian Bale's performance. So,
Do you
I could
think we'll see? Do you think we'll see Null come back at any point? Do you think Null is done for good?
No
Oh.
one's ever done in comics. He'll be back.
No.
no one's ever done, but let's just say, in my opinion, it's null and void. I'm not a symbiote fan. I'm the
Aw.
Gary camp there. I know I'm just an a-hole.
I don't have a problem. You know what? For sure, he's going to come back because at some point they're going to write him in. You know, somebody's going to cross over the line.
He's tied to the
somewhere, and they're gonna bring him-
Necrosword origin now. He's been retconned to be important.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yeah, he'll
He's
be
been
in there for
retconned to
sure.
matter.
So, for sure.
Bale's
Yeah,
a
for
hottie
sure.
too, but I heard he's kind of a dick in real life. But
Who?
Who's that?
Christian Bale.
Uh,
I don't know. He's one of those actors. I just don't connect with him, no matter what he's playing. And I'm not saying he's not a great actor, but sometimes you just don't connect with a certain actor. And whenever he's in something, I'm like, eh.
Have you ever
Come
seen,
on,
you
what was
seen
the-
Empire
what
of
was
the
the one he
Sun?
did? What about the magic trick? Was it The Illusionist? that he
Yeah.
was in?
Yeah, they had the one with Jessica Biel was my favorite. Jessica
That-
Biel.
That was not the
Fantastic
Illusionist.
Four?
But
I don't know. I got
They
nothing.
came out at the same time, right?
They
The
did. It was
Illusionist
like
and there was another one.
because one had Hugh Jackman in it and Christian
Yeah, it was-
Bale,
Yeah.
and the other one
Yeah.
had Edward Norton and Jessica Biel in it. I think
What are you talking about?
there was two
Oh.
magician movies that
they're
came out around
movies. They're movies. Yeah.
I've seen The Machinist, and I've seen like Empire of the Sun when he was a kid. Stephen King, not Stephen King. What's the guy that did Jaws?
Steven Spielberg.
Peter
Spielberg.
Peter Block.
Spielberg.
Oh, I was talking
Spielberg-
about the writer. Sorry.
All right, yeah. Spielberg discovered Christian Bale, I think, when he did Empire of the Sun, and I loved Christian Bale in
Rain of Fire.
Where's the one where he played the axe murderer guy?
American Psycho.
American Psycho. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
But see, I read the book. I read the book American Psycho, and I absolutely loved his performance. I think he was just such a great psycho. There you go, Master and Matt. I'm like, you guys know what's up. A really great performance.
Kale, that movie you said was the one movie I really liked him in.
Rain of Fire.
Yeah, it's
Rain
such
of
a
Fire.
it's such a great B
The
movie.
Dragons.
It's so good. I love that movie.
When it was right on that cusp of but right before he completely broke out and became that A-list star, Gerard Butler was still finding himself, and then you had McConaughey just showing up and overshadowing everybody on set.
Hey, there's dragons in Texas.
All right, all right.
all right. Let's ride them bitches.
Be a lot cooler if you did have dragons.
Yeah. I
So
just gave the dragon a joint, man.
being a big Carnage fan, what did you think of Venom 2?
it was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it. I thought I was gonna hate it, but
Carnage was way underwritten in it, though.
Absolutely.
yeah.
They
I mean,
nerfed
I haven't
him
seen
so
any
much.
of them. I haven't seen any of the Venoms.
They're decent. I mean, they're. I don't hate them. They did a pretty good job. I don't know. It's better than I thought it was gonna be.
You know what I thought was better than I thought it was going to be, because everybody absolutely shitted on it, was Morbius. I watched
Morbid
Morbius and enjoyed it.
Time.
Yeah, I like
It was
Morbius.
okay. It wasn't horrible.
And I'm
I
not
don't
even
know.
a fan of that actor.
No, I
Yeah.
can't stand Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Unruly Simeon
I don't
said that
know.
it started out pretty strong, but by the ending, it was weak sauce.
Yeah, it petered
Morbius.
out.
I had fun with it.
No, it
I thought
was entertaining for sure.
I enjoyed it. Controversial.
I just
Jared
didn't like Jared Leto.
Really gets on my nerves. He's a polarizing
That's
character.
because you guys haven't gone to his island and seen him in his Gucci shirt.
Worst
That's where I buy
Joker,
all
too.
my shorts from exclusively.
He's still the D-bag from my so-called life, in my opinion.
And I think we
Like-
can all agree
Yeah.
with worst Joker.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That
Horrible.
was a shit show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell him, Tricky.
But he gave us the best Harley Quinn.
Now, before we start the wrap up, we'll be going for an hour and 10 minutes. Does anyone have any last questions for Scott? Anything they need to know, want to know, or are curious about?
I don't have
Can I
any questions,
ask,
but
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
What has any comic run made you cry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were 2 comic books this past year that almost one brought me to tears, and then there was a second one that almost did. And the one that did manage to do it was Ice Cream Man 32.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one chronicling. It chronicles this man's journey through addiction and through rehab. And I don't know it. Yeah, that one got me real bad. And then Vermilion by Artist Brow. That was a really touching book. Vermilion. When you play it with the song, that's a pretty good one. So those 2 got me.
Shut up, Tricky. God, I hate Tricky.
Wait, what did he say?
He just gives me hell over not reading the Gargoyle miniseries.
Which gargoyle?
The one that Bernie Wrightson did the cover of in the first issue. It's a
The
Marvel.
gargoyle that was in the Defenders?
Yeah.
That's a great miniseries.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
I love that miniseries. That was a great 4 issues. It was so well written.
I know. Well, Tricky gives me hell about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I'm on
This is
Tricky's
about our
side
friend
right now.
S. Vaughn 82.
No, I agree, Tricky. That is a great mini, and that is a mini series you can find in the dollar bins all day long, every day.
Oh yeah.
It's got
The
Bill.
gargoyle is a great character.
Bill Sienkiewicz did a cover for it. Bernie Wrightson did the first cover. So there's amazing art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that a year ago and read it, and just never getting rid of it. It was awesome.
Okay, let's talk about something.
You'll get it one day, Caroline.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, or I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to encourage you to consider, and I don't know how far away it is as far as driving, but dude, if you ever want to go to a great con, Heroes, I'm trying to convince Caroline to go. It's the place in Charlotte. It's in Charlotte. And I know, if that's a long haul for you or anything, but that's the place to go.
It's closer for him than it is for me.
Yeah, we're going this year, June 18th, 16th through the 18th. Yeah, we had a blast last year when we went, and it's to me, and I've been to several different ones, it's the purest Comic Con. I don't, you're not going to see all these, lines with A-list celebrities and all this stuff. None of that.
So you said June 28th?
No, 16th through the 18th.
June 16th through the 18th.
Yeah.
Let me write that down, man.
I'll
definitely.
dude.
Yeah, I've got time.
There's going to be, I'm pretty sure I'm still working on my brother to go with me again this year. And usually, Remy's right down the street from it, so he'll probably go. But we had so much fun last time when we went, and just hanging out and then seeing what, you'll split off and want to go one direction. You'll come back around. You'll be like, what you got?
Yeah.
Everybody's, and then
It'd
we'll go
be cool
have
to meet
dinner
Amy and Angel.
and we're drinking. And next thing you know, did you see that booth over there? Did you, it's more, it has a lot of stuff. It's really, to me, it was one of the, and I go to Baltimore Con all the time because it's right down the road. But yeah, I think this one beats it. I really do.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into it. It sounds like fun, and I definitely want to hit some cons this year because I didn't get to last year.
I'd like to save up and go to it because I've only been to a con in Alabama. I've been to it a couple of times, the one in Birmingham, but I'd like to go to other ones.
And there were a lot of dealers that worked with you, that haggled with you. You could, I found some great deals, great slab. Man, I found some cheap slabs. Like really nice slabs. I'm like, this is great. So
cheap slabs are always nice.
Yeah.
You can always get really nice books at a premium at comic shows or at conventions. I find that's where I get the best deals, where I've gotten the best deals ever, period.
Yeah, they don't have to drive it all back home.
Right.
I mean, that's a good point. All right, man. You made a fair point.
You know,
And what about you, Kale? Did you have any last asides or questions?
Can we have a sleepover?
yeah.
Right.
No,
only if
Well,
I'm the
great to
big
get to know you. I hate that you stole 82 from my name. I was wondering.
Oh,
why
I'm sorry.
80
I'm
I'm
sorry.
joking, man. I'm joking.
That was the year I was born.
Same. So, welcome to the club,
Nice.
being old.
Yeah.
Gary's
We're
been here
old.
for a while.
1970, okay?
I wasn't going to give it away, Gary.
Gary's a baby.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know you that well yet, Lady Fantastic, so I wasn't going to.
I'm
pick on
8'4".
anybody else.
84.
84.
Oh,
Mm.
one of
It's great
those,
to get to know you,
those
Vaughn.
meddlesome 80s kids.
Just give
Yeah.
me the cane and the staff, and because
Be careful. I might cry about it and write you a poem,
I
Right.
tower over all of you.
and I'll expect a
Right.
trophy.
You're not that much older than me, though, Jim. Just a couple years.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a smidgen. Just enough to make you the old guy in the room.
That's right. I got no problems with it. I feel it every day when I wake up. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, same here.
so
Why is that hurt? Oh, yeah, that was 30 years ago I did that. I remember.
yeah. So
So, guys, what's going on your channels? What's coming up? Jim, we'll start with you. You did want to talk about a video that you recently made that has a great ending to it. You don't
yeah,
wanna give it away?
Scott, I struggle with the same thing. I have two passions that I love. One is comics, and the other is metal detecting. And I'm always wanting to try to merge them together, which is something impossible. But I decided I didn't care about the algorithm of YouTube. I'm going to put up what I want, and so I'll have videos like I have a mail call video that I'm going to do. I got some books in, and I got my Chip Gettler win for mid-1,000 subscriber giveaway. So I'm definitely going to do that video. I want to go out tomorrow. I'm going to try to shoot some more footage of a place that I'm metal detecting. But I did drop a metal detecting video, and I really like it because I found some amazing stuff. And so if you get a chance, go see it.
It's true. I watched it. He's not lying.
But yeah, so I'm probably going to try to shoot some more video tomorrow if the weather holds out. And I'll splice it up and put it in there. We'll see a new one, but that's all I got going on right now.
And Miss Caroline, Lady Fantastic herself.
I think I'm due to be on the hunt soon in the next couple of weeks. So just be on the lookout because I'll be crushing some grown men's hearts there. And I put out a video just recently to the community just about a little PSA on mental health. Because it's a real thing and people deal with stuff. Life is not in a vacuum. And these pandemic years have definitely been tough for everybody.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Mikhail?
Well, I've got a package from Mezco that I haven't opened. I've had it for 2 days. So I'm going to do an unboxing for it. And, after my accident, thanks to Pocan Joe and his helmet, I thought I was a Rocketeer. They finally let me out. So I'm fine. The helmet did not protect. It was not protection ready. But looking forward to getting back in the swing of things, and I'm gonna start trying to do a live stream Tuesdays and Fridays.
Nice.
Very good.
And now that you're coming back, we'll have to get you on the 1011 as a guest.
Of course, absolutely.
All right, coming up for me, I have another Savage Saturday comic review coming up this Saturday. But more important this Saturday is the mates over in Australia. They got me into this thing called Vegemite.
Oh,
All right, so I've been enjoying it, but
you would.
I was challenged by Simple Simon, who opened his mouth on the other side,
to try Marmite?
to eat it by the spoonful. So
What?
I went and bought a jar, and we're doing a spoonful of Vegemite on his channel Saturday night at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, no.
Oh my lord!
Sick
That's
men.
gonna be,
It's going to be a Vegemite party Saturday night. So come watch for the fun. The laughs are all at my expense, so you know it'll be a good time. So we're gonna go do that and have a blast with it. I probably won't be as successful as when I kicked everyone's butt at the one chip challenge, and I think I was going on 60 minutes. They're like, just drink something already. I'm like, I'm good.
Dude, I
remember that.
I tried Marmite in Britain, and I thought maybe it was going to be something like Nutella or some shit. And I bought like it was the grossest.
It's just salty. It's so salty.
It's gross.
It makes your face go inside, like inside.
It is. Oh, yep, a Vegemite sandwich. See, and I didn't know what that was in that song when I was a kid. You know, I had to grow up to learn what Vegemite was.
Yeah.
Now, and Scott, what's coming up for you, sir?
I got a couple cool videos in the works, and let's see. I should have. When am I going to put that? I'll have a new video out Sunday, which is going to be a really cool one. It's going to be. I'm using clips that I've gotten from around the comic book community. I've had held back for a little while now, and it's like advice from the comic community type deal. But it's going to be cool, and I have a horror comic battle with this dude on Instagram coming up. We're going to do a comic book battle, but with horror books.
Ooh,
and
I got to get your package out tomorrow, so hopefully you'll get those by then.
Yeah, I've got yours together. I got a bunch of books I got to mail out. I'm going to go next Tuesday and do that. But I'm working on the live thing. Like my main thing right now is working on that live show. It's going to be Mondays at 7:30. It's going to be for about an hour. It'll be topic related. It'll be comic book related, but it's going to deal with some recovery stuff, some mental health stuff, some addiction stuff, and some comic book stuff. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to make it all work. So it'll be cool.
We'll all be there to watch it. So
I hope so. At least you can come watch me embarrass myself if it doesn't work out.
That's okay. I embarrass myself all the time. I just don't care.
Every time I look in the mirror, I'm embarrassed.
That's the advantages of getting old, right, Jim? You don't have to care about embarrassing yourself anymore.
No.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, I want to thank. We had a great panel out tonight, so thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Kale, for coming out and being co-host tonight. Scott, thank you for being the guest. It was great talking to you again. Hopefully we keep talking in the future. I think we will.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone that in the audience tonight, we had a great turnout. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code Keep It Casual for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.